I never thought my own family would turn my dream home into a battlefield. But that's exactly what happened in the wide-open spaces of Montana.
I'm Emily Carter.
34 years old. And I've carved out a solid life for myself in real estate finance up in Bozeman. It's a competitive world, but I've risen from entry-level analyst to senior manager at Rocky Mountain Investments in just under a decade. My days are filled with market analyses, client meetings, and the quiet satisfaction of building wealth that doesn't rely on anyone else. Growing up in a dysfunctional household taught me that independence wasn't just nice, it was survival. My family roots run deep in the rural West, but they've always been tangled. My mother, Linda, is a master of rewriting history to suit her mood. She's 62 now, with a sharp tongue and a selective memory that erases her mistakes while magnifying everyone else's. Then there's my stepdad, Jack, who came into the picture when I was 10, after Dad passed in a ranching accident. Jack's a decent guy on the surface, but his gambling habits have drained more bank accounts than Montana's dry seasons drain rivers. And my sister, Megan, 2 years my senior at 36, has made a career out of avoiding one. She's bounced from job to job, waitressing, retail, even a stint as a rodeo photographer, but nothing sticks. She blames the economy, bad luck, anyone but herself. We share mom, but different dads. And somehow that made her the golden child, while I was the outsider hustling to prove my worth. 3 years back, I bought a cozy ranch-style house on the outskirts of Billings. It was my pride, 3 bedrooms, a wraparound porch overlooking the plains, and enough land for a small horse stable I dreamed of one day. I paid cash.
No mortgage.
Thanks to smart investments. It was supposed to be my escape from the city grind, a place to unwind under those endless big sky sunsets. But life has a way of roping you back into old patterns. It started with a frantic call from Megan 18 months ago. Their rental in Missoula had been foreclosed on, Jack's poker debts had caught up, and Mom's part-time work at a local diner couldn't cover it. We're homeless.
En Megan sobbed.
You can't let this happen to us. Your family. I sighed, staring at my apartment walls in Bozeman. I'd been the fixer since I was a kid, bailing them out of small jams, sending money for birthdays, even paying for Megan's community college tuition she never finished.
So,
I offered my Billings house. Temporarily, I emphasized. Until you get on your feet, I covered the moving truck, first month's utilities, even stocked the fridge. I stayed in my city place, figuring it'd be a few months tops. At first, it seemed okay. Mom sent thank you texts with photos of the house. Loving the view. Honey, you're a lifesaver. Jack promised to look for steady work as a mechanic. Megan talked about enrolling in online classes. But temporary stretched like taffy. 3 months in, the thanks faded. Requests ramped up. The truck needs tires. Can you spot us $500? Groceries are so expensive out here. Maybe $300 this week? I set up automatic transfers to avoid the guilt trips, starting at $1,200 a month for basics. But it ballooned. Jack's emergency vet bill for their old mutt, Rusty. Megan's interview outfits for jobs that never materialized. Soon, it was $2,000 monthly.
Plus extra.
When I visited, the changes hit like a dust storm. Megan had repainted the living room without asking, a garish red she called rustic chic. Making it feel like home, she said with a smirk. Jack had built a makeshift shed in the backyard.
No permits.
Just scrap wood. Mom had turned my guest room into a dog sanctuary for Rusty and a new rescue pup.
Bella.
Animals give unconditional love, Mom always said. her eyes softening in a way they never did for me.
Idenot.
Biting back words. Writing another check for upkeep. The monthly family dinners became endurance tests. They'd grill steaks, forgetting I'm vegetarian now, and reminisce about simpler times, meaning when I was too young to question their chaos. Remember how you promised to take care of us.
Em.
Mom would say, wine glass in hand. You are such a sweet kid. What she meant was keep paying. Megan's jab sharpened. Must be nice driving that SUV while we're scraping by. I'd remind them gently. This is my house.
Guys.
I'm helping because I care. But Megan would roll her eyes. Yeah, your house on paper. But we're the ones living here, making it a real family place. One evening, after a long day closing a big deal, I drove down for dinner unannounced. The table was set with my good plates, wine pouring freely. Everyone smiled, too brightly. Megan raised her glass. To Emily, our generous sister. But honestly, you don't fit here anymore. This is our space now. The room went silent. Mom avoided my eyes. Jack stared at his plate. I stood, heart pounding, and said calmly, funny thing, my name's on the deed. I left, the door slamming like thunder. That night, back in Bozeman, anger simmered into clarity. I'd given everything, but they saw me as the enemy for succeeding where they stumbled. I pulled out the property docs. Deed in my name. No lease agreement, just family goodwill. Legally, they were guests. But eviction in Montana requires notice, especially for relatives. I consulted a lawyer friend quietly. You can serve a 30-day notice to vacate. If they don't leave, file for eviction through court. Keep records of all payments, shows you're not abandoning the property. But revenge?
No.
This needed to be about boundaries, not destruction. I started documenting. Photos of unauthorized changes, receipts for my payments, texts demanding money. Megan's contempt grew via messages. Bought new curtains, bills $200. Send it. Mom's calls turned pleading. We're family.
Eminência.
Blood's thicker than water. The breaking point came when Mom called about her birthday. We're having a gathering at the house.
But.
Bella's anxious around crowds. Maybe skip this one? Dogs come first, they don't judge. I hung up.
Stunned.
Dogs over daughter. Again. The memories flooded back that night as I paced my apartment. The city lights of Bozeman blurring through the window. Growing up on a small ranch near Helena, animals were always Mom's priority. She'd miss my school plays for vet appointments, spend grocery money on feed for stray cats. Pets don't talk back, she'd say, hugging a collie while I stood alone with my report card. Megan got the affection I craved, being the easy one who never challenged the status quo. I was the ambitious kid, the one who left for college on scholarships, built a career, only to be labeled stuck up.
Now,
with them in my house, the pattern repeated. Rusty and Bella ruled the roost. Their beds in my old room, while I slept on a city couch. I dug into the files. The shed Jack built violated local zoning, no permit for structures over 100 square feet. The fence extensions encroached on neighbor land, against county regs. Mom's improvements, like the unpermitted deck addition, could trigger fines from the building department. I'd warned them during move-in. Follow the rules. Montana's strict on property codes. But Mom laughed. Rules are for city folk, not us ranch types. I wasn't seeking destruction, but accountability. My lawyer advised. First, written notice. Detail the issues. Give them time to fix or leave. If not, involve authorities. I wanted a humane path. Maybe this would wake them up to self-reliance. I drafted the letter. As owner, I require you to vacate within 30 days or address violations. Remove unpermitted shed. Restore original fencing. Cease unauthorized alterations. Continued occupancy requires a formal lease with rent. I sent it certified mail. Heart heavy, but resolved. Megan's response was explosive, a call screaming, "You're evicting your own family? After all we've been through? It's my property.
Meg.
You've treated it like yours." Mom chimed in. "This is low. Emily, we raised you better." Jack stayed silent, probably knowing his debts started this. I offered help. "I'll connect you with housing resources, job leads for Megan." But this can't go on. They ignored the notice. Weeks passed. Photos from a neighbor showed the shed still standing. New dog runs added. Bella's anxiety room was my master suite now. I filed with the county. Anonymous tip on code violations. Attaching evidence. Montana law requires inspections for reported issues. Fines start at $500 per violation. Escalating if willful. The inspector visited. Citations arrived. Shed, $1,500 fine plus removal. Deck, $2,000. Needs permit retroactively. Encroachment, $800. Total, over $4,000. Payable by occupants. Mom called in tears. "How could you report us? We're family." "I didn't want this," I said. "But you left me no choice. Fix it or leave." They scrambled. Jack sold his truck to pay fines. Megan got a part-time gig at a feed store. But resentment boiled. Dinner invites stopped. Instead, passive-aggressive texts. "Enjoy your fancy life while we suffer." I visited once, finding the house in disarray, dog hair everywhere. My garden overgrown. "This is what happens when you abandon us," Megan sneered. "I didn't abandon, you took over." Arguments escalated. Jack mediated. "Em's right. We overstepped." But Mom defended. "She's always been jealous of our simple life." As the 30 days neared, they begged extensions. I agreed to 60, helping with apartment searches and billings. "Think of it as a fresh start," I said. Megan huffed. "Easy for you to say." Deep down, I hoped this pushed them toward change, not revenge, but growth. The legal clarity helped. No ambiguities like verbal agreements. In the West, property rights are sacred. Courts favor owners with proof. My documentation was ironclad. Texts, bank transfers, photos. If it went to eviction court, I'd win. But I prayed it wouldn't. One night, Mom called alone. "Emily, I know I've favored the dogs. They're easy. You're strong. Independent." It scared me. Tears choked her. "I get it now. We need to stand on our own." It was a crack in the armor. A hint of humanity amid the drama. The extension ticked by like a slow Montana winter. I threw myself into work, closing deals on mountain properties that reminded me why I loved this life. Freedom.
Vast horizons.
No one clipping my wings. But family ties pulled tight. Megan's new job at the feed store lasted 2 weeks. She quit, claiming toxic boss. Jack gambled away half the fine money, sparking fights I heard about through relatives. Mom clung to the dogs, posting on social media, "My fur babies keep me going through tough times." Subtle digs at me. I drove down mid-extension, unannounced. The house smelled of wet dog and neglect. Bella barked from my old room, now a canine haven with cooling mats and toys. "We've been fixing things," Mom said defensively, pointing to the half-dismantled shed. Jack nodded. "Appreciate the extra time."
Eminencia.
Megan crossed her arms. "So, come to gloat."
No, Iraplia.
To help pack if needed. Tension crackled. Dialogue turned raw. You've always thought you're better, Megan spat. City job.
No struggles.
I struggled plenty, working through college while you partied. Mom intervened. Girls, enough. Emily's helped more than we deserve. We sat on the porch. Sunset, painting the plains gold. Jack admitted. My debts started this mess. Sorry for dragging you in. Mom teared up. I leaned on you too much. Honey.
Pets are simple. Family.
Messy. It was the deepest talk we'd had in years, emotions raw.
No sugarcoating.
I felt a shift. Not forgiveness yet, but understanding. They paid the fines piecemeal. Jack taking odd jobs. I connected Megan with a career counselor, free through state programs. Try graphic design, I suggested, recalling her rodeo photos. She grumbled but applied. Legally, I held firm. If you're out by day 60, no court. They agreed. Signing a simple agreement my lawyer drafted clear.
No loopholes.
Drama peaked when a neighbor complained about the dogs barking, another code issue. Fines loomed. Mom rehomed Rusty to a farm family. Heartbreaking, she said, but added, maybe it's time for change.
Bella stayed.
But in a smaller setup. As move-out neared, I inspected, shed gone. Deck permitted, I covered the fee as a gesture. House restored. Mostly. Thanks for not destroying us, Jack said quietly. Megan hugged stiffly. Sorry for the crap. I'll do better. Mom whispered. Proud of you.
Eminencia.
Always was. Just bad at showing it. They moved to a modest apartment in Billings, affordable housing aid I helped apply for. I reclaimed my house. Cleaning dog fur. Repainting. Peace settled. But with a lesson, boundaries breed respect. Reclaiming the house felt like breathing fresh mountain air after a storm. I spent weekends restoring it, planting a new garden, fixing the porch swing. Bozeman life hummed on. Promotions, dates with a kind colleague named Ryan, who appreciated my drive without resentment. But echoes of family lingered. Mom called weekly now. Not for money, but chats. How's work? Megan landed a freelance gig editing photos, small, but a start. Jack joined Gamblers Anonymous, sharing updates humbly. One evening, Mom invited me to their apartment for dinner. No dogs ruling the roost, she joked. I went, cautious. The place was tidy. Spaghetti on the stove. We appreciate what you did, Jack said. Tough love. Megan nodded. Made me grow up. Mom hugged me. I chose easy paths too long. Sorry for making you compete with pets. Emotion surged, drama of years unpacked in tears and laughter. I forgive, I said. But boundaries stay. Legally, it wrapped clean, no court. Just mutual agreement. In western states like Montana, clear communication prevents escalation. Lesson learned. The humane turn? We rebuilt slowly. With respect. Light lesson. Family thrives on mutual effort, not entitlement. Months later, under Montana's starry skies, I hosted them at my house. Our first real gathering. Steaks for them.
Salad for me.
Laughter flowed.
No manipulations.
Megan shared job wins. Jack celebrated sobriety. Mom gifted a photo album of us, not dogs. Time to focus on people, she said. The ordeal taught us all. Success isn't betrayal. Help isn't endless. We emerged closer, wiser. In the West's vastness, family bonds, like land, need tending to endure.